Self-help is a funny world because every YouTube video you watch and every book that you read is going to tell you that there is a different endless list of things that you need to be doing to be the best version of yourself. But most of it, to be honest, is bollocks. There is no one-size-fits-all way to improve yourself, and most of the things that people suggest to you on YouTube or in a book are not going to work for you. And so in this video, I want to cover 5 self-help habits that I hate, 5 things that I've tried that YouTube or a book has told me to that personally just have not worked for me, to really drive home the idea that there is no one-size-fits-all solution and that you need to find what's right for you. Let's get into it. So the first self-help habit that I hate will probably make a lot of people upset because it's something that I know lots of people swear by. It's meditation. Now, I'll be honest, I have tried meditation countless times. Back in 2016, 2017, I downloaded the Headspace app and I did the first like 10 or 20 days and it kind of worked for me. I found it slightly relaxing. I found it to be somewhat useful when it was really basic, right? When I was learning the absolute fundamentals of meditation. And I probably spent another 2 or 3 months on the app and then I kind of stopped using it and forgot about it for a while, and then I picked it back up maybe a year later, and then again I stopped using it. And then it was 2020 and it was the pandemic and I had all this time on my hands and I thought, right, I'm going to spend this time bettering myself. And one of the first things I did is I downloaded an app called Waking Up by Sam Harris. Now this app, I guess, was slightly more advanced than Headspace, and I thought if I'm really going to take this seriously, I need to commit to 30 days. And so that's what I did. I committed to the 30 days, but more than 2 or 3 days into this meditation practice, as well as not yet feeling the benefits, because of course it takes a long time to feel the benefits of meditation, I would find myself really not looking forward to the 10 or the 15 minutes at the end of the day that I would have to sit and meditate. Now look, I'm sure that says a lot about me. I'm sure that says a lot about the fact that in those moments I was unable to sit with my thoughts, right? I was unable to clear my mind and just focus on breathing and do all these other things that you're supposed to do when meditating. But it was really crucial for me. When I got to that 30-day mark, I probably continued for about 40 days overall to realize that it just wasn't working for me. At the particular moment in my life that I'm in right now, there is something which feels a little bit clunky, a little bit awkward, a little bit cumbersome about sitting and meditating, right? It doesn't work for me. And so to continue to do it for hundreds and hundreds of days and every day at the end of the day have that discomfort, have that feeling that I didn't quite want to be doing it because somebody had told me to, because I'd heard on the internet, just wouldn't work for me. I find that there are far more effective methods for me personally to process thoughts, to clear my mind, right? Something I've taken up recently is running. I'm 4 weeks into the Couch to 5K app, and 4 weeks into that, particularly the other day when I ran for 8K, trying to think about anything other than being in the present moment, right? Trying to focus on anything other than your breath in that exact moment is impossible. And so in some ways, I've kind of substituted meditation for running and found the same benefits. And I'm sure that the same can be true for you as well, right? If you don't get along with meditation, if it's something that you've tried and you just can't get into, go for a walk, have a conversation where you're present, right? Take up running, go to the gym, listen to an album that you love that helps you escape. Now, I'm sure that the neuroscientists out there would tell me that the benefits aren't the same, but for me, if I'm looking for that feeling of having a clarity of mind, right? Having a moment in the day where I pause and I disconnect from the hectic thoughts and just relax. There are so many things out there which frankly are just more pleasant for me than meditation. So meditation is the first self-help habit that I really don't like. The second self-help habit that I hate is cold showers. Now again, this definitely says more about me than it does about the idea of cold showers, because I've had a few cold showers, right? Some intentionally, some not so much, because the showers in my gym aren't great in the mornings. And I get the idea, right? You get this jolt of adrenaline, you feel active and awake immediately afterwards. And from what I understand, reading some content online, the benefits do indeed extend out throughout the day and they help you be less susceptible to things like inflammation, I believe. Like the benefits are there. I don't doubt the benefits are there, right? But for me personally, when I'm taking a shower, I just don't like it, right? And does that mean I'm leaving some of those benefits on the table? Absolutely. But I believe that self-help and self-improvement and going on this journey of trying to be a better version of yourself, whilst yes, you should stray into the world of discomfort, and whilst yes, you should be doing some things which aren't entirely likable, I think it's also important to just live a fairly normal life, right? Just because some guy on the internet has told you to take cold showers every day, if you don't like them, And if you're not having a kind of derived benefit from them, just don't do it, right? I've probably had 4 cold showers in my whole life. And maybe if I stick at it for longer, there will be benefits, but frankly, I just don't want to, right? I'm enough years into this self-improvement thing to realize that not everything's for me. And frankly, at 7 a.m. in the morning when I'm just leaving the gym, stepping into a cold shower and being freezing for ages and then hoping that it warms up in time for me to then get into the car and get to the office without shivering, it's just not for me. And so cold showers are the second thing that me personally, I've opted out of. They don't interest me. Now, the third self-help habit that doesn't really work for me is limiting screen time on my phone. Now, I need to be specific here. That's not to say that I now decide to sit on my phone all day. However, in the past, I've done things like buying a second iPhone. I have had all sorts of apps on my phone that limit the apps I can open, that tell me to put my phone down when I try and open certain apps, which try and control the amount of time I can spend on any given app in any given day. And they kind of work, but they're not really getting at the root cause right. There are so many people out there, including people I know, who will say, for example, they don't spend more than 60 minutes a day on social media apps, and their target is, I'm not going to spend more than 60 minutes a day on social media apps. Great target, but personally I don't think you should do it that way. I think you should actually do the inverse, right? Rather than the target being I'm going to limit X, Y, Z thing, you should say instead I'm going to replace it with something positive, right? If you're productive and busy enough in your day because you have enough meaningful work that gives you a sense of drive and a sense of forward momentum, you're not going to be checking your phone. Similarly, if you're spending time with friends or family members who you value, who you find interesting, who you want to spend time with, you're not going to sit there and try and escape that situation by staring at your phone. So rather than trying to limit screen time, something which I spent a hell of a long time doing and found it to be entirely ineffective, I think that the more effective approach here is instead to find better things to do with your time. Find more engaging people to spend time with, more engaging activities, right? Go on a run, go to the gym, listen to some music, do something that will take you away from your screen rather than arbitrarily saying I'm not going to spend more than 42 minutes on my phone today, because that doesn't work. It doesn't help anybody and actually is kind of counterproductive. And so that is the third self-help habit that I dislike. The fourth self-help habit that I hate, if the wrong people see this, I'm gonna get some heat in the comments, is manifestation, right? I cannot get on board with the idea that you can stand in the mirror and tell yourself you're great and then suddenly you're gonna be great, right? Stand in the mirror and say, today I'm gonna be confident, and then suddenly you're confident. Or today I'm gonna make 10,000 pounds, like it doesn't work, right? I have yet to see a single bit of good science, of good evidence, of research paper, or even anecdotal proof from anybody that I know or trust that manifestation on its own works, right? I am all for believing in yourself. I am all for having goals that you read out loud every day if you need to, right? Or look at on your phone. I literally have a set of goals for this year saved on my computer that I look at least once a week. But manifestation in the way that it's currently packaged in popular culture isn't doing, right? If you're just staring at a list of goals, if you're just throwing out into the universe that you want to be rich, if you're just saying all these things you're going to do and you don't back it up with action, you don't back it up with month after month, year after year of hard work and focus and effort and delayed gratification and saying no to things that you'd rather do in the moment right now, none of it is going to matter. And so that's why I have beef with this idea of manifestation, because it tells people who want to do better, right? People who in some ways are looking to better themselves, that it's okay. They can just sit there and say that they want to get better and double tap the odd Instagram post of an inspirational quote and they're going to get there. Simply, that is not true. And so the reason I have an issue with it is because whilst you believe it to be true that manifestation alone can work, you are slipping further from your goals, because for every day that you sit there and think that you can manifest something into reality and do nothing about it, time is moving on and you are not. And so the fourth self-help habit that I hate is manifestation. And then the fifth self-help habit that I hate is cutting out caffeine. Now, I have heard lots of people, including people I respect, saying that cutting out caffeine, limiting it, making sure that you are in control of it and it is not in control of you is a good thing to do. And I absolutely believe them. However, a few years back, I spent 28 days in February with no caffeine in my life, absolutely none. And frankly, the benefits were just not there, right? I haven't drank alcohol in 5.5 years. And the reason I continue to not drink alcohol is every day when I wake up, I realize that there are huge benefits to having the focus, the clarity of mind, the certainty, the lack of anxiety from not drinking alcohol. So when it comes to sticking to things, when they work, I will absolutely stick to them. But cutting out caffeine for me, although yes, I do limit my caffeine intake, I try not to have more than 200 milligrams a day or else I get a little bit fidgety, but cutting it out completely for the sake of cutting it out completely, right? For this illusion that you're somehow in control, doesn't really work for me. I find there to be huge benefit from caffeine, right? A 11 a.m. coffee, a 2 p.m. coffee, as well as it being useful for productivity, it's just a nice feeling, right? It is one of those small pleasures in life, one of those things that you can look forward to that costs you like a couple of pounds max if you're getting it out, or a few pence if you're having it in your home, but that, for me at least, brings me a little bit of joy, right? A little bit of happiness. And so just because people on the internet say cut it out, just because there is lots of literature out there to say that you can be more in control of your life if you don't have caffeine, frankly, personally, I don't care for it. I will probably, somebody will clip this, I'm sure, but I will probably continue to drink caffeine for the rest of my life, and I will enjoy it as I do it. So they are 5 self-help habits that I personally hate. Now again, the reason I make this video isn't to randomly throw shade at any of these particular things if you do them, right? If you meditate, that is genuinely proven in science to be good for you, and you should continue. If you have cut out caffeine and you find there to be benefit, absolutely continue to do it. The point of this video is not that. The point of this video rather is to make sure that you understand that there are going to be a series of things in this self-help world that will work for you, but there's going to be an even bigger list of things that will not work for you, and you should be absolutely comfortable understanding that you can say no to any of these habits at any time and still be just as good a person, still be just as virtuous a person, right? If you don't do some of the things that I do, that doesn't make me better than you. If you do some of the things that I don't, that doesn't make you better than me, right? We need in this space to open up a conversation about finding what works for us and being okay with saying no to everything else, right? I think it's Stephen Bartlett who says there is no self-improvement without self-awareness, and in this space more than any other, that is entirely true. You need to know what works for you, and once you've found what works for you, lean into it, and you'll be surprised just how easy it is to make huge progress in your self-improvement, whatever that means for you. That is everything for this video. Sorry, it's a bit of a negative one, but thank you so much for watching nonetheless. If you found this useful, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.